Hey guys, it's Jessica here. So here's what I have set up for the pH lab. I have got 7 items here and we're going to be testing the pH of them. And first I like to test them with these test strips, and you can pick these up at a pool place or maybe even Walmart. And you're just going to correlate the test strips with the number on the side, and that will tell you your pH, and I'll show you how to use those in just a second. So first off, let's just talk about what is the pH scale. So it's a scale of 0 to 14, and liquids all around us have either acidic or basic properties. So for example, acids are going to taste sour, and bases should taste bitter, and also they're going to have a slippery consistency. But however, strong acids and strong bases can be very dangerous and burn your skin, so it's important to be careful when using chemicals. So if you're using harsher chemicals, maybe you want to pick you up a pair of gloves at Walmart or your local store. If you like, you can also put goggles on for this experiment. And again, they're at probably your local Walmart. You can pick those up. So in order to measure how acidic or basic a liquid is today, we're going to use the pH scale as illustrated on your paper here. So I provided a couple of pictures of those. And so just taking a look at this scale here, it's got the color. It's got pink to green yellow on the scale, and it's got 1 to 2, 3 to 4. And so those are going to be your approximate pHs here. And then below that, it's going to indicate whether that is an acid or a base. And so I'd like to test these once again with the test strips first. And then what we're going to do is use this boiled red cabbage here, and I'm going to strain it out in just a second, and we're going to pour it in these cups so we can see what pH that these are using the indicator in the cabbage. The strength of the pH scale is determined by the concentration of hydrogen ions. Where there's a high concentration of ions indicate a low pH, and a high concentration of hydrogen ions indicate a high pH. So the pH scale ranges from 1 to 14 again, where 1 to 6 is classified as acidic, 7 is going to be neutral, and 8 to 14, of course, is going to be our base. So the materials you're going to need for this is, of course, your red cabbage, and you can chop it up. Is what I did. Just went to Walmart and bought red cabbage. I think it was $2. And then you're going to need, it says 1,000 beaker or less, but you can just kind of use, I don't know, I use a beaker, but you could use anything. You could boil it in a pot on your stove, or just whatever you want to do. We're going to need a strainer. I just picked this up at Dollar Tree for $1. You can use your strainer in your kitchen that you have. Water, you're going to need distilled water, which comes in a bottle you can purchase. And also we're going to be needing tap water, number 5 you see there, which I just used the tap. We're here in Altus, so that's the tap I used. And those test strips, plastic cups, and so I've demonstrated that here. I just also purchased these at Walmart. And then some hand soap, baking soda, lime juice, ammonia, and vinegar, distilled water, and tap water. So the materials being tested are going to be these 7 right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and you're going to want to go ahead and pour in each of your cups, probably up to this first line. I know it's hard to see on this cup, but it's got a little line here, and you can just pour it to there. And then I'm going to get the test strips ready. Hi guys, I'm back, and what you want to do is go ahead and with your hand soap, I just mixed a little bit of distilled water with it, just so I could dip my test strip in there. Distilled water doesn't have any ions, so I'm hoping that this doesn't disturb anything with the hand soap. But I went ahead and poured all my items here in the cups, and what you're going to do is go ahead and take your test strips and dip it in there, and you're going to test the pH for each one. So I'm just going to do one. We'll just let it sit. So for the vinegar, I'm getting a pretty dark red color. So what you want to do is grab your bottle here, and what you want to do is kind of match the color and the best you can. Better turn this way. And so I would go with probably a 2 on here. So I'm going to go ahead and write down 2 for the pH of my vinegar. So this is another document that is attached, or you can type this up for your kids, or if you're doing this at home, you can just make some questions up. And I just wrote down all of them here, and then we're going to write down, what does the actual pH test strip say? So if you're doing these with your kids, it's kind of fun for them to dip it in here and kind of look on the thing and match the color. So we're going to go ahead and say 2 for the vinegar. And here in a minute, when we test it with the cabbage juice, we'll see if our number matches. And so I'm going to go ahead and keep going, and we're going to go ahead and do each one here. So that was the vinegar. Let me just put that to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and do this part, and then I'll lay the strips out in front of each cup so that you can see what color I got. I'll be back. Okay, so I went ahead and did my pH strips. And so for ammonia, if you're testing that one, I got a color blue here, and on my bottle I indicated a pH of 11. My lime juice here, I got this red color. Once again, I picked 2 for the pH. Distilled water gave me yellow, which was 7 on my bottle for neutral. Tap water here in Altus was in fact 7. Baking soda gave me a green color, which I got a number of 9, which would be a base. And then our hand soap here, I got 7, which would be neutral for this particular type of hand soap. Alright, so I went ahead and did all the test strips, and now what I'm going to do is strain this cabbage juice into this other container, and I'll be back and we'll pour cabbage juice into each of these cups and see what the cabbage juice indicates for each one. Alright, so I went ahead and strained the cabbage juice here, and again, if you're at home with your kiddos, you can do this on the stove with your strainer and boil this. I boiled this one for about 20 minutes. And I got this nice purple color here. And so red cabbage juice can be used as a pH indicator for all your common household items. What I find interesting about this one is it's great for if you've bought a pool, which most people have at this point. During this time, I bet everyone is swimming. You can use this to test the pH of your pool outside. So it's something fun to do with your kids, and it also helps you out. So cabbage juice has what's called flavin in it, and anthocyanin maybe is the pigment in the red cabbage that helps to change the color in each of these things. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pour just enough to turn the colors. And I left the pH strip here just so that we can see if it matches. And in fact, I feel like this one does match. And so I feel like this is still a pH of 2 using the cabbage juice as an indicator. That one matches too. I'm going to go ahead and continue on through this, and I'll show you what color of cups I got. Alright guys, so I continued on and I poured the cabbage juice without making a mess this time into these different cups here. And again, you can see they are nicely matching those pH strips that I got. This one here, what you're going to notice, because yellow is neutral on your pH, because it's neutral on your pH scale here, what that means is it shouldn't have any type of reaction or color change for the cabbage juice. So it's going to go ahead and stay purple, which in fact it did. So we know that it is neutral as it has no reaction or change with the pigment in the red cabbage juice. The tap water, it did change just a little bit from neutral. So it might just be a little bit different. And then we're going to continue on here. Baking soda giving me a nice green color, which is indicating to me that it is a base. And with the pH strip here for the baking soda, I got a 9. But, you know, if you want to use this, we can try and maybe say that it's high. It's about an 11 for baking soda, so it's a very basic product. And then for our hand soap, we got 7, which was neutral, and it should have stayed purple, and it did. It turned a little darker, not much blue, kind of a basic going on there, but for this test, for this experiment, it kind of stayed neutral for me. So this is pretty much it. Kind of fun, so you can see the different pHs, and it also, you know, makes a rainbow of color, which I feel like the kids really like to do, something fun to do at home. On here, maybe for a little older kids, you can go ahead and have them write the pH with cabbage juice they got, which for me was the exact same as the test strips. And what this is going to say that is red cabbage is a good indicator for pH, because it turns the same color as the test strips. And so there are numerous more questions they can go through, and I have it attached, like I say, for older kids if they feel more advanced or you want to get their brains going. For the younger kids, I feel like the colors for them and just finding the pH is kind of fun. They can also use a scale again. It has the colors as well, maybe if you don't have the pH test strips. And so this is my experiment, and that is the red cabbage pH lab. Thanks.